Well, hello everyone. And yeah, let me know if this is actually working. No pressure. I'm still trying to make sure that I make sure that the stream is good because I am in New Jersey right now. Yeah. I am in a small town in New Jersey. So Vincenttown, New Jersey is where I am. So yeah, we're seeing oh, good, Harvey. Yeah, got the mandolin playing along. That is great to hear. And Kurt says it's working, so that's a good sign. Um, oh, wow. Little dinosaur hunting. Good for you, Janine. Excellent, excellent. And okay, everything's good. Chris, yeah, great to see you, and good to see the picture. Excellent. And Katsurita, excellent. Okay, howdy. And working on YouTube. Okay. Woo! Yeah, don't jinx. Yeah, this is yeah, I'm the internet here, it actually has a really good download speed, but like what a lot of ISPs do is when they tell you how fast it is, it's just the download. So upload is ridiculously slow. And I'm getting around at most 12 megabit upload. And if I'm doing two streams, one to Facebook and one to YouTube, that's not a lot to work with. So I cut it back a little bit as far as the bit rate, but I'm still trying to send the full 1080p video. So we'll see if that works for you. And hey, Gwendolyn, great. Thanks for joining. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit more of a test episode, just just to see if I can do this remotely. I'm actually really happy with the quality that I'm seeing so far. A little bit surprised on how how good it's working. It's yeah, it seems to be exceeding my expectations. I know, don't jinx it, like you said, but Lisa. But yeah, I'm trying here, and I think we're good. And puppets, nice. So yeah, yeah. And now I just finished the first weekend of the New Jersey Ren Fair, first time ever being there, and it was a lot of fun. Uh, uh, yeah, they. How can I explain this? They went through so many hoops just to make the fair happen this year. They moved it twice within the last couple of months. The site location. So that's how crazy it was. They're on a sort of a county fairgrounds now, and it's works pretty well. Good crowds. I think we had a few thousand people on Saturday. I didn't hear the total on Sunday yet, but it was still very good. For a still the fair's been around for a little more than 10 years. So doing and considering the move, very good. And rained a little bit on Saturday, but not too bad. Hopefully, yeah, hopefully next week will be even better. I know it will be for me because when I go to a fair for the first time, the first thing I have to do is just try to figure out. Well, I mean, it's like any of you going to a fair for the first time. Okay, where is everything? I mean, I have to pretty much spend a lot of the morning just walking around and getting a feel for this. These are my options. And after that, I'm try to make the shows that I'm booked for, and then just try to figure out busking as best as I can, and just playing in the lanes wherever it seems like it might work. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But it's all trial and error a bit at the beginning. So that's kind of what the first weekend has been. This next weekend, I expect it to go pretty smoothly. I mean, it's a pretty small fair, so I think there I think I have it fairly figured out now. So not a problem. So a ton of fun, ton of fun. Right, right, Lisa. Best places to hide just in case. You're not wrong. After that last weekend at Sherwood where I got sick, yeah, you almost need that place to kind of hide if you're not feeling well or something. Always a good plan. And hello to Kathy, and hey, Haley too. Hello, hello. Great to see you. But yeah, yeah, this is a definitely a good test. I think the quality coming in is probably pretty good. It seems like it's maintaining and fairly steady. I don't see any network problems or dropped frames so far, so I think we're good. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, what's how do y'all feel about going to a fair for the first time? Is it a scary experience? Is it just exhilarating, or is it a bit annoying because you feel like you've wasted half the day just trying to figure out where everything is, and you realize there's no way in the world you're going to remember where you parked. I mean, it's kind of like that. Or do you, or is it just exhilarating? You just love it. Oh, okay. Dan, great. That is great to hear. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you. I'm actually playing with some other musicians, the Rowdy Bardlings. I'm kind of sitting in with them for 3 shows for the day. So it's kind of an interesting experience. I'm doing lane work for myself, but I'm playing with a band on the stage. So yeah, that's been an experience. Now, of course, when you're a solo act, carrying a stage, very stressful. You spend a lot of time. I mean, you're carrying the show. It's all on you. Everything that's said is from you. When you're in a group of, 4 other people or 3 other people, depending on the day, and you're not the yeah, you're not the front man. I mean, somebody else is doing most of the talking. It's so easy. It's really relaxing. I will say that. You just go to the shows and play a little music, and yeah, I mean, it not that my regular stage shows are stressful, because they're really not, but it does seem a little easier. I won't lie. Uh, okay, Chris is saying voice is okay and can actually see you pretty well. Okay, that works. Oh, excellent. Thanks, Jane. Thanks, Jan. I appreciate that. I look forward to seeing you. And yeah, definitely a good experience. Yeah, I mean, New Jersey, yeah, it is a very new location, but was it Burlington County Fairgrounds? But yet it is, it, it, it works out pretty well, and it's a fairground, so of course they have actual flushy toilets and all that. I mean, it's a nice area, so lots of parking. It makes it a lot easier. The infrastructure is already there, so in many ways, that was a good choice. Yeah, yeah, Harvey, I totally can relate to that a little bit. That was for me with the Texas Renaissance Festival and similar type of thing. Yeah, you just kind of realize I can relate to these people at least a little. Yeah, definitely, Kathy. Yeah, it can. Yeah, I mean, you tend to get into habits of this is I'm going to go here and here and here at fair because these are the places I like to go to, and you don't explore as much when you've gone to a fair for several years. So that first time, it is a lot more like an exploration. I totally get that. I totally get that. Yeah, I know. I mean, it does. That's kind of what I meant. It is a little more relaxing. Yeah, even though my show is pretty relaxing, but still, it's a little easier. I know. I mean, I know the pressure that you feel when you're in charge is self-imposed, so it's not real. But even so, it is it is kind of nice. Right, right, Lisa. That is a very good point. Is a fair? What is the layout? I mean, some fairs are very windy places where it's easy to get lost, and other fairs it's just like you enter and it's just one big circle, like a donut that has a little offshoot that goes up to the joust, and that's about it. Arizona's that way, and a lot of other fairs are too. It's so it's pretty simple to navigate in many ways. But yeah, yeah, it really can depend on how. But of course, sometimes I like those little windy fairs that it just feels like it feels more medieval, like it feels more like an adventure. So sometimes I like that. Yes, that is very right. Oh wow, yeah, yeah, yeah. Good luck with that, Janine. I hope it works out. Jen, you're not wrong. That is, I know that uh, they go by the schedule and they have it all mapped out. Both her and Jim, yeah, they they have that all going. Well, yeah, PA, yeah. I've never been, but I have a lot of friends who do it, and it's a large fair, and it can be a little tough. And of course, fairs tend to expand and change every few years. Places that you're used to before, they're not there anymore. And then all of a sudden, there's this new area that's out of nowhere that you're like, I don't know where that goes. So it is always exciting, very much so. Mm. Yeah, I know. Sherwood is not complicated, but then of course it is. One thing about most fairs, they have definite paths, like these little roads that take you from the front gate and you follow them. Sometimes they're very wide, but they do have them at least. Even if they're windy and you can get lost as far as which way is back, the way you came. I mean, it's they still have these roads. Sherwood technically has paths and roads that you can follow, but you don't have to. It's a forest. I mean, you can just say, okay, I can go down this road, or I can just cut across right here in the grass and the trees and still make it there. I mean, it's very wide open. So for those of you who do computer gaming, it's kind of like having a very fixed direction in a game where you always have to go down this alley and then go down that road, or it's just an open world where you can just go anywhere, and it's a little more overwhelming, and that's kind of what Sherwood is. So Gwendolyn, I totally understand. Oh yeah, and Kirk, I totally. Yeah, Kansas City is very much like that. I was going to mention them next, actually. Yeah, that is a very windy road. It's also one of the toughest parades I've ever done in my life. Doing the parade at Kansas City was an experience because it is so small hills, but consistent small hills where you're going up and down and up and down and up and down and all windy and everything around, and it is a very long, arduous parade. I will definitely say that. Uh, it's certainly a challenge. Definitely a challenge. Oh, right, Lisa, Scarborough Fair it's the same way. Yeah, they've rearranged a few times. Going back a couple of weeks ago and playing there, that was an experience because I hadn't been for over a decade, and boy, was it different. It was like all of these busking spots, all of the spots that I remembered. Oh, this is a good spot to play music. This is a good spot to play music. They all had stages now. They put stages there at those spots, right, which makes sense, but it definitely made it difficult for me to find a good spot to play music, which is what I was trying to do. I finally found one that would work for me, but everybody's different, and some of the other spots were already claimed by musicians that were doing the full run there, so I wasn't going to tread on their on their work, so they got that, but yeah, I found one spot that worked for me, and I I spent as much time as I could that weekend. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, you're kind of right. I mean, not always. Sometimes a good spot, you couldn't put a stage there even if you tried. I mean, sometimes you have a good choke point where, the path kind of comes to into a narrow space and then kind of goes out. And if you're at that narrow space, everybody's going to walk right by you. So that's kind of nice. So those choke points can be pretty good, and you can't put a stage there. But because choke points can be rough with crowd control, fairs tend to not put them there unless they have to. So you don't get many of those. At Scarborough, you have the two bridges, and those are the main choke points at the fair. Aren't many others. The others have pretty wide passes. Even those bridges are pretty wide, but still, that's probably about the closest you get to that. Couldn't put a stage there on the bridge, of course, because it's a bridge. So that works, but people already play there. But yeah, yeah. But you're right. Yeah, good spot pretty much equals stage. You're kind of stuck there. And I guess it just means that I guess it just should look as a compliment. I had a good eye for a location, and they did too, so they put stages there. So, okay, fair enough. But yeah, yeah. Uh, right. You're right. And that is, you definitely have different things to worry about than I do. You do have to worry about the unseen issues, where for me most of it's seen. So I will give you that. Yours is a little more of a crapshoot. So right. Sometimes it's all about the food. You're not wrong. Oh gosh, they did have a lot of food vendors in New Jersey, and the lines were long. I will say that. I don't know. They had a lot of food vendors, so it was people. How many people showed up that first week, and especially the Saturday when it was a rain day, and still they had a few thousand people show up. It was pretty wild. So, but yeah, the lines and there were crazy for food. So, in a few places, and yeah, that was interesting to see. So, I'm sure that's one of the first things they're going to work on. Yeah, that would be interesting to just kind of map my day. There have been a few fairs. What I do is I'll put an app on my phone and just find out how far I've walked throughout the day. And like at Sherwood, I was getting, I don't know, anywhere from 4 to 6 miles a day of walking. And yeah, it was something like that. But that was, even so, that was actual distance walking. I mean, when I'm jumping around on stage, that didn't count, although it should have. So it's not the number of steps; it's actual distance moved. So it is still pretty crazy, definitely crazy. Whew. Well, yeah, this is actually going really well. I'm so happy about this. I was worried about the internet connection, and I think we're still good. All things considered, I think the picture is pretty good. I'm going to go back and